Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and Happy New Year. I'm excited to announce that I am officially going to do a 2023 temperature blanket, and the pattern I'm going to be following is by Crochet with Tiffany Hansen. She is doing a crochet along where she is doing a temperature blanket, but she added a little twist where she's going to be doing it as a sampler blanket. So I've never done a temperature blanket before, but just really wanted to do one this year. And I was nervous though, because I do tend to get bored with bigger projects, especially slow moving projects. And with the temperature blanket being a full year, that's the reason I've never done one, is I just figured I would get into it, buy all the yarn for it, put in a bunch of hours on it, and then get tired of it. But the fact that it's going to be a sampler blanket, I think is going to really hold my interest. And I think the way she's doing it is she is going to make each month be a specific stitch. And I like that as well, because you'll be able to tell very clearly which rows are for what month. So she's going to do 12 different stitches, you know, one stitch for each month. So I really like that as well. And knowing me, I had to take it one more step to make sure that I don't get bored with it. And let me just start at the beginning. So when I decided to do the temperature blanket, my original goal, or my original plan, was to do the traditional colors, you know, variations of blues and yellows, oranges, up to red, all that. I knew that I wanted to use a value yarn because I'm sure it's going to take quite a bit of yarn, and I didn't want to spend a crazy amount of money on it. So I chose to use I Love This Yarn. Well, I went to Hobby Lobby a few days ago and was looking at all the different yarns, and I was just having such a hard time choosing what I wanted my colors to be. I really, just looking at them, I didn't really want to go with just those primary colors for some reason. I wanted to do, you know, I don't know, I just didn't want it to be like your traditional red, your traditional blue. I wanted it to be a little more, I don't know, just not traditional. But I just couldn't decide what colors to choose. And I was really drawn to the Yarn Bee Yarn ID colors, and that's the colors that actually Crochet with Tiffany Hansen she chose. She's doing 2 temperature blankets, a 4-weight and a 5-weight, and for her 4-weight, she chose the Yarn ID. I really love all those colors, but I didn't feel like there was enough variation in the colors for what I was looking for, and so I thought about mixing and matching some of the I Love This Yarn with the Yarn ID. But with the Yarn ID, it is less yardage for a little bit more, so I didn't want to do that. So anyway, I noticed that there were several colors of the I Love This Yarn prints that I was really drawn to. So I had this wild idea just to start pulling all these different prints, colorways off the shelves, putting them in the basket, and see what I think of them all together. So I ended up loving it. That's what I ended up going with, is the I Love This Yarn prints. So if you've never used them before, it's a variegated yarn, and I know that that is so far from traditional. I don't know that anybody has ever used a variegated yarn for a temperature blanket. I understand that, you know, when you use traditional colors or some variation of those traditional colors, it's really easy to see the way the temperature changed by the color. And I know that that's kind of the idea of it, but for some reason I have to be a little bit different. And sorry, my kids interrupted me. This is their last day home on winter break, and I just needed to get this video filmed, so I can't remember exactly where I was. But I think I was just saying that, of course, I had to be a little bit different and choose yarn that most people would not choose, but I think it's going to be really fun. I think it's going to be really colorful, which I love, and that keeps me entertained. I've come to find that the more color there is, the more likely I am to stay engaged with the project. So here is my temperature chart. I decided to go with 10 different skeins of yarn, and the first color, well, let me just start with the temperature ranges. So I'm doing 10 degrees or below, 11 to 20, 21 to 30, 31 to 40, 41 to 50, 51 to 60, 61 to 70, 71 to 80, 81 to 90, and then over 90. So I live in Kentucky, and in Kentucky we do have a wide range of temperatures, but it is rare for us to go over 100 degrees, and it is rare for us to go below 0. Now, we did just have, like a week ago, like the horrible cold frigid weather like most of the US had, and we did get a wind chill like below like -30. I should also mention that for my temperature chart I am using the high temperature. Some people use the average and some people use the high. I just chose to use the high. That's just what I wanted to do. So I thought that doing 10 degrees or below was good, because if we do get a rare day where it is, you know, negative something, then, you know, that's taken care of. And then for the over 90, we do have quite a bit of days, especially like in July, that do get in the 90s. So, yeah, I just thought over 90 would be good, because then if we do get that rare day that's over 100, you know, then that'll be covered as well. So, let me go ahead and just show you guys the colors. So I kind of went with vibes. So instead of like red for hot, orange for warm, you know, dark blue for freezing, I did like wintry vibes and summery vibes and springy vibes and fall vibes, and that'll make sense in a minute when I show you. But I had my 10-year-old actually sit down and help me pick out what colors were for which range last night, and we had a lot of fun coming up with what we thought represented that temperature range well. So I'm going to explain kind of our idea behind why we chose each color and all that. So let's just get into it. So the first color here is called Plums, and it's for the 10 degrees or below, and it is this color here. And we just really thought that with all these really dark blues, it's just a deep dark berry colored yarn, we thought that would just be really good for a super cold weather, because, you know, dark blues and those icy blues just reminded us of super cold weather. So we thought this would be great for the coldest one. And then the next one is called Float Along, and I guess I should say the specs one time for these. They're all the prints. They're 100% acrylic. They're 4 weights, and they are 252 yards. And they recommend a 5.5 millimeter hook. I'm gonna wait and see. I'm not sure what hook size I'm going to use yet. I'm going to see what size Tiffany's going to use and kind of go with, you know, what I think might be best for this yarn. The yarn ID that she's using is a little bit thicker, even though it is a 4 weight, because I have worked with that before. So I don't know. We'll see. But so Float Along is this color, and this is what I'm using for the 11 degrees through 20, and ignore the marker on my finger. So 11 to 20, and again, just lots of different blues, but a little bit lighter shades with some, you know, white in there, some lighter blues, and so we just thought this was another good wintry color. So this is 11 to 20. And then this one is called Emerald Pine, and this is for the 21 through 30 degree temperatures. And the reason we chose this one is because it still has some of those blues in there, like for winter, but you're getting some yellows in there. And so 21 to 30 degrees kind of reminds me of, you know, it's still really cold, but you may get some sunshine, and it's not like as frigid as the other 2 temperature ranges. So that's why we chose this one. And these descriptions may not make sense to you at all. You may be like, why are you doing this? But it's just what I wanted to do, and it makes sense to me, so I'm doing it. And I do think it is going to make a really beautiful blanket. And, you know, in the end, temperature blankets are something we do for ourselves. It's not something, I mean, some people may make one for someone else, but I think most of us do it for ourselves, and so we want to do something that we are going to enjoy. I'm going to know what each temperature stands for, even if it's not apparent to other people, so as long as I enjoy it, I think that's what matters. Let me know, though, your thoughts. I would love to know what you think about this. I know that it's so different. Do you like this idea to use variegated yarns? Do you think I'm crazy? I won't be offended. Let me know. Okay, then the next color is called Lakefront, and this is for 31 to 40 degrees. And the reason we chose this one is just because it still has some of those wintry colors in there, but, you know, 31 to 40 degrees reminds me of fall weather. So this colorway reminds me of like a cooler fall day. And so with those dark browns in there, you know, it kind of reminds me of the leaves after they've already peaked in their colors and they're starting to kind of turn brown and fall off. But with the cooler blue colors, I just thought this was a great fall temperature color. So 31 to 40 degrees here. And I forgot to mention, I did last night when I was laying in bed make a really awesome chart for all of these. So I'm going to post that as well somewhere in this video. And I was really proud of it because I've never like made a chart or anything like this. And it was a lot of work, but I'm glad I did it. So I will post that somewhere during this video. You may have already seen it. I may have posted it at the beginning, but all right. And then the next color is Cinnamon Cedar, and this is for 41 to 50 degrees right there. And this is it. And now this is the first color that I chose when I was thinking about doing the print colorways, because this just straight up reminded me of the perfect fall day when all the leaves are super colorful with all the oranges and yellows and reds. And I just thought that the 41 to 50 degrees is like typical fall day here in Kentucky, like a early November, late October day. And so I just really loved that and thought that was really had fall vibes. So that's what we chose for that one. And then the next color is called Spring Green, and it is 51 to 60 degrees. And this one, again, it just reminds me of spring. It reminds me of all of the leaves starting to form on the trees. And the funny thing is, I think that this is actually going to be the first color that I'm using. Tiffany is starting her crochet along today on January 3rd, 2023. And I, had to go back. I used the website Wonderground to go back and look at the previous highs for the last 2 days. And for January 1st, I'll be using this color. So even though it has spring vibes to me and is called Spring Green, for some reason we've been having spring-like weather in January. So anyway, just thought that had good spring colors in it. And then this one is one of my favorite colors. This is called Sunset, and it is for the 61 to 70 degrees. And this just reminded me of like a beautiful spring day with all the flowers blooming, all the different colors. We have redbud trees in our yard, and they're very similar to this bright purplish pink color. And this just screamed spring to me. Spring is my favorite season, and this color I just feel like really represents it with those bright oranges, the bright blues, like the bright blue sky, and the bright purple. I just love this color. So 61 to 70 degrees, and that's probably one of my favorite temperature ranges. 61 to 70, and then the next one, 71 to 80, is also a favorite range for me. But it is The Struggle is Teal, is for 71 to 80 degrees. And this one just reminded me of a early summer day, late spring, when you get that beautiful blue sky, the beautiful sunshine, and you just want to be outside and enjoying the weather. And I just love this. It's so pretty. The white, you know, reminds me of the few clouds that might be in the sky at that time. And I feel like 71 to 80 degrees is just such perfect weather. And this just reminded me of that bright, warm, early summer day. And then the next one is called Amber Honey, and it is for 81 to 90 degrees. And the reason I chose this one is because it just reminded me of the dead of summer. It has that yellow, so like super sunny, and then the blue reminded me of like being in the pool or the ocean. And if you were on the beach, you know, the sort of sandy color, this orangey tan color for the sand. So I just thought this was perfect for that 81 to 90 degree weather. Reminds me of a beach day or a pool day. And then the last one is for over 90 degrees, and it is called Royal Gorge. And the reason I chose this one is because it has that bright coral, which reminded me of just, you know, that hot heat. Again, the blue, like if you're going swimming, it reminds me again of a beach day. Seashells, you know, sometimes you get those really beautiful corally, pinkish, whitish colored seashells. So it has some of those colors in it. So I just thought this was really beautiful for those hottest days. So that is it. And again, if I haven't already, I will put the temperature chart that I made up here. The reason I chose to do that is because I am using variegated yarn. These swatches here aren't going to be 100% accurate with showing the exact color, since there are different colors within each one. So I will definitely put that picture here. And if you do decide to join me, you are welcome to use that chart that I made. I can email it to you. I'll try to figure out, I made it on Canva, so I'll try to link it below. I haven't ever linked anything from Canva, but I'll try to figure it out. So let me know. There is still time to go grab your yarn and catch up, because she is starting the crochet along today. And again, you can use Wonderground, the app. I think there's also the Secret Yarnery said you can use a website called temperatureblanket.com, and so you can find those past temperatures. And I'm not sure yet. I think I'm gonna, you know, I may work on it every single day, or I may work on it a couple times a week and just look at those past temperatures and do a few rows at a time. I'm just gonna make it work for me depending on what I'm feeling like that week. But I do think that the variation in color is really gonna keep my interest, and I'm really excited to start using all of these. I just love looking at them all, and it's very me. And I think that that is what a temperature blanket really is about. It's about your local region, the temperatures in your area. So it really is something for you to enjoy and a memory to look back on. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and enjoyed seeing what colors of yarn that I'm using. Please let me know what you think about this. I know it is so unique, so different, but I like it. So the verse I want to share with you guys today is from 3 John. And the reason I chose this verse today is just because this is sort of my prayer for you guys for this year. So it is 3 John verse 2, and it says, "Beloved, I pray that all may go well with you, and that you may be in good health as it goes well with your soul." So I just pray that over you guys for 2023, that you will be in good health, that your soul will be well, that you would cling to the Lord. If you haven't given your life to the Lord, I pray that you do. It is such a joy and a blessing to serve the Lord and to know that my eternity is secured in Him through the work of Jesus Christ. So again, if you have any questions about Christianity, if you've never, you know, been exposed to it much, or if you've had sort of a bad example of Christianity, then, because there's definitely that out there, then reach out to me. You can email me, it'll be linked below, or send me a message on Instagram. I'm trying to get better about checking my Instagram regularly. So reach out to me and I'd love to chat with you. But let me know if you're making a temperature blanket this year and what pattern you're following. I think Leah Crochets is going to be doing this crochet along with me, so I'm excited about that. And I would just want to invite anybody else who wants to join me and do the crochet along. So anyways, guys, I pray that God blesses you, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.